All right, so weaponizing yourself. This is a phrase I heard by two black gentlemen, two brothers that I heard one day while doing my little research, and you know, every now and then you know, just like you have to exercise to get stronger, you have to exercise your mind to get smarter. You have to exercise your thought process so that you don't just walk around this world in a vaped out fucking zombie, you fucking pod. So they like I said, they don't let us own guns and stuff like that here in this state. They control it, they enforce it. So if you get one, it's going to more likely be illegal, because you know, if you own a store, you can get one. If you're in security services, you can get one. If you're in law enforcement, you can get one. If you just I don't give a fuck gangster mafia type dude, I can get one. But you know, I do love my family. I do care about what they think about me and how they see me. And I wouldn't put myself in a situation where I might have to lose, I might get kidnapped and illegally detained by the hired assassins and thrown into a cage with other people who they have reprogrammed into fucking animals and end up fucking dead in there. I'm talking about the prison system and the whole court system. So what I did was, okay, so I'm gonna show you something. So once I got my mind set on that idea, I went on. I go through Facebook sometimes, and I see these ads for things. I said, ooh, you know, because ever since I was young, I used to walk around with little knives, little thing on me. You know what I'm saying? Because even back then, man, I realized, man, once I woke up to what the world was really like and how people can be, you know, and the confusion that I had, especially the first time, you know, that I was bullied, you know, because I grew up bullied a lot. I mean, you can ask my brother will testify to this. We were bullied, we were harassed, we were teased, we were poor, we were broke, we was hungry, no lights, no AC, no fan. We grew up tough. But my nature wasn't tough. I might have grew up in a tough environment, but my nature wasn't tough. So yeah, I got my ass whipped, slapped, punched all the time. And no matter how much I tried to be down with the gangster dudes in the neighborhood, all that did is end up getting me in trouble. First time I went to family court as a child. I'll tell you the story. I remember the story. I was hanging out with Hootie. It was me, Hootie. I don't remember who the two other guys. Could have been Larry, could have been Robert, could have been any one of those guys from back there. And we were coming home from school. I used to live in Brooklyn. I used to live in Brooklyn. I was born and raised in Brooklyn. And I lived on Lincoln Road between Bedford and Nostrand. Lincoln and Bedford. I lived in that corner building right there. It's still there. And it was a nice block. It was a mixed block of residential, private. Technically, when you look back on it, it was a great neighborhood. It's a great neighborhood, but it was filled with some really fucked up people. And that's usually what it's all about sometimes. So we're coming home from school, and there's a kid. And back then, we used to tease the Haitian kids. When the Haitians started coming into the neighborhood, we used to tease them. Don't ask me why, and I regret that. So to all my Haitian brothers and sisters, I didn't know any better back then, but I know better now. You are the people that inspired the word for freedom and rebellion, no question. And we end up mugging him. He didn't have anything, but we mugged him. Stupid is, you don't mug somebody in your neighborhood. Because a couple of days later, I'm in the house playing on the bed. I see like these two big white men come through the door. Big motherfuckers. One of them looked at me and said, "Are you Tony?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay." He went in the living room for a little while, talked to my moms. They left. My mom's was like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "What?" I didn't know. This is my first encounter with that kind of thing. And she was pissed, yo. And she started breaking it down. I told her the story. what happened, what I did, who I was hanging out with. I ended up having to go to family court, and they sealed the record. I got out of there. I remember that memory. So I have a sealed record there. So see that poor programming. And so, and I had a couple of run-ins like that. I mugged another cat some years ago. I had to do like 5 years probation. Finished that. Another kid accused me of mugging him, but I actually didn't do it that time. We was in Tilden, and kid accused me of mugging him for some silver bracelets. But the whole time we was in the gym. I didn't mug him, but he said I did. That's actually a good story too. Let me tell you. See, that's a funny story too, because here it is where you're accused of doing something, but you didn't do it, but you kind of wish you did because you had to go through the whole ringer anyway. So, me and Anthony Mullins was in the gym. We never played the gym. We didn't go to the gym. So we was chilling out with Mr. Goldberg or Goldstein. He was the gym teacher. This is in Tilden. So we sat with him, cracking jokes. He didn't care. At that point, Tilden was changing. It was turning from white all the way black. It was progressing to black. A lot of the teachers didn't, after a while, just didn't give a fuck anymore about training. Black kids, fuck these little niggas. But he never bothered us. He marked us, for gym, but he didn't make us do anything because he knew we wasn't going to do it. So after the gym class, we was here. That was our first period. So me and Mullins would meet there. We'd laugh, crack jokes, talk shit, and then we'd leave and go to class. So we walk in, and when we get out of, you have to go through. To get out of the backyard, you have to go through the back door into the gym. You cross the gym into the main hallway. And people that know the Tilden know I'm telling the truth. I'm not lying. So, as we're walking through the gym doors into the main hallway straight to the front door of the school. The principal's office was to your left. If you're going my way, you're walking straight ahead, it's to your left. There was a big crowd. Everybody's looking in the principal's office, looking. And me and Mel was like, what the fuck's going on? So we walk up, and we kind of push through the crowd, and we stepping over, and we peeking. Yo, they got this dude in there. He's crying like a bitch, and I know him. He's from the neighborhood. He was a gay dude from the neighborhood who walked around the neighborhood. And he was crying, and the principal and them was talking to him. The police was talking to him. So then, as he's crying, and we looking, oh shit, that's homeboy and everything, whatever. Yo, that nigga pointed to the crowd. So everybody's like, what? Everybody's looking. Everybody's looking at each other. Me, you. And he's being more Pacific. So me and Mullins like, what the fuck is he doing? Yo, the principal charging towards us, to the crowd, and just pushed through the crowd and grabbed me and Mullins and dragged us into the office. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what's going on? Yo, you mugged. He said, you mugged him. This, silver bracelet. We said, no. He said, Mullins was like, yo, that nigga's lying. I was like, yo, he's lying. No, he said it was you. How could it be us? We was in the first period gym the whole time. You can ask Mr. Goldberg, whatever his name was at the time. First period gym. And how we proved. And we weren't even dressed for gym. We was in our regular. We never left the first period gym. And we kept saying, we didn't do it. He's making a mistake. He's scared. He's lying. He's scared. Why he picking us? We didn't mug him for silver bracelets. Come on. I don't even mug people. I don't rob people. That's not me. Everything that I did as a kid, I did because I was a dumb little kid that didn't know any better. Yo, they end up holding me the whole day for that shit. Mullins talked his way out. I had to stay the whole day. They eventually let me out. But it was all day. I was in there for like 3-4 hours. Just sitting there. Until eventually they let me go. And plus I told the whole... Again, the cop that was patrolling the school that year, he was a light-skinned black cop. He told me, he said, what happened? I said, yo, I'm telling you what happened. Told him, I came to school in the morning. I checked it for first period gym. I sat right next to the gym teacher the whole time. I didn't even change. I didn't run it. So if you don't change, you can't play. So we had to sit with him. I stayed the whole first period So wherever he got robbed between first period and the end of first period, whoever robbed it wasn't me. They checked out my story, talked to they talked to the gym teacher who talked to us the next day. He said, yeah, they came and asked me about you two guys. Because he called us the two Anthonys. It was Anthony Mullins and Anthony White. We was the two Anthonys. He was like, yeah, the two Anthonys were... He said, well, what time did he get mugged? He said, no, these two guys was with me the whole time. And then eventually let me out. And me and Mullins kicked it later. So here's the funny point of that story. Is that rest in peace, my man Jeff. Oh my God, Jeffrey. He's fucking psycho. Jeffrey, years later, we hanging out. We dressed fresh and we hanging out, we chilling. We going uptown to party. So we're on the 4 train. We transferred to the 4 train because we're going uptown to this party. So as we walking through the platform, we got our little 40s or quarts or whatever. And he said, yo, let's ride the back of the train. So we get on the train, boom, we start walking to the back of the train. So we at the last car waiting for the train. And I'm drinking my 40. I'm going, yo, Jeff. He goes, what? Remember that time that I told you that story about how I got arrested because the dude pointed me out for stealing some silver bracelets and the nigga had me arrested? He said, yeah, I remember that story. He said, yo, now, and I told him the whole story again. He said, yo, what's up? I said, yo, that's the nigga right there. He's like, what? He said, that's the motherfucker right there who had me arrested. Now, just a little teeny bit. Don't quote me. I don't know if this happened before or after. But this is the 3rd time I ran into that dude. I knew him from the neighborhood, just seen him around. This time he had me arrested, and another time I ran into the back of the bus. But I think the bus incident might have been after. But this is the last time I saw him. So Jeff says, yo. So I walked up to Money. He was sitting right there by himself. I go, yo, you remember me? I'm Anthony from Tilden. Yo, the nigga looked at me, but he didn't speak because he did recognize me. Said, you the one, remember you got your silver bracelet stolen and you told the police that I did it and had me arrested? He didn't say nothing. He's still quiet, but he didn't move. Yo, he wouldn't speak. He didn't say nothing. He just looked at me. He didn't say nothing. Yo, Jeffrey smacked that nigga so hard in his face, yo. I mean, he just pounded his face. The slap echoed through the whole train station. Wow! Yo, Money didn't move. He just sat there, looking at us. And the tear rolled down his fucking eye, yo. And he didn't move. And I said to Jeff, because again, I'm not a gangster. I'm a prankster. We just walked away. I said, leave that nigga alone. That's enough of that. So I'm not gonna stomp him out, beat him up, because again, I'm not trying to get myself locked up for no assault. But what he put me through that day, I didn't even know Jeff was going to slap him. I didn't tell Jeff to slap him. I didn't put my hands on him. I was just going to intimidate. I was trying to get him to speak up. Jeff was the one that just said, by the time I looked over to my left, it was over. Kapow! I was like, what the fuck? The train came. We got on the train. That nigga sat right there. He would not get in that train with us. But Jeff was like, don't get the fuck on this train. I was like, leave that nigga alone. I think he'll always remember that story. Dancy, I got taken away. So there's been a few times that I got in trouble with the law. got arrested. Spent the night in jail. Made it to night court. Got out the next day. And a couple of times I went to court for stealing jobs I had, because this is poor programming. This is what I'm talking about, programming. When you're young, you just do a lot of dumb shit. Because you don't understand the consequences of what you're doing. You don't understand the reality of what you're doing. You don't understand who you might be affecting with what you do. You're just doing shit because... And then you may do it because you may know the consequences, but you just don't care. You know? You can't tell me nothing about human nature. I know all about human nature because I'm a human being. The only difference between me and a lot of other human beings is I pay attention to my nature. Best quality about me is I learn from my mistakes. I try to, if I fuck up, hey, I ain't going back there again. I ain't doing that again. I ain't going back there. I ain't never been in prison. I've been to jail, but I ain't never been in prison. I've only been in jail 3 times. Waiting to go to jail to get processed. That's jail. That's not prison. Prison is different. Going to jail is going down to the local precinct. He lock you in a jail. That's a jail. I've been to jail 3 times. I've never been convicted or been to prison. I've always been blessed or lucky to just get away without having to do any serious jail time and prison time. And I thank the creator of this universe for that. So I done talked all the way and missed up my point. But I'm gonna do one more video and about weaponizing yourself and protecting yourself, and then I'll be done with this series.